And we're live.
Good evening, parents, and welcome to this evening's little workshop. This workshop was decided upon because of the queries that we received from parents with regards to Google Classrooms and basically how to monitor and how to assist learners when it comes to submitting work and also keeping tabs on their work and making sure that it is submitted. So I'm going to hand over to our IT specialist, Mr. Warren, and also Mrs. Fulyun, the head of department for the intermediate phase. We'll talk a little bit further about this. Before I hand over to them, I just want to urge you parents to please monitor your learner's device, your child's device, because we are still finding sporadic incidents where learners are using the devices for purposes other than what we intended for. For example, downloading YouTube games and so on. So please check and make sure that they are being safe when they are on their devices. Thank you. I'll now hand over to Mr. Warren.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a pleasant day. My main topic tonight is to just talk about security and what you can do to monitor and be open with your children, especially when it comes to cybersecurity. We have had instances where the children are having fun, downloading games, playing on social media, which they are not supposed to, as there are age limits, and those age limits are there for a reason. And now they're all going to try and do it anyway, so rather talk to them and get to know what they're doing and get to know the platforms they're on. So I want to just start off with a few tips that you can do to just encourage the safe use of your children's devices. And the first one is talk about it. Talk about what they're doing online. If they're using TikTok, if they're using Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, talk to them about it. Find out who they're talking to. Find out who their friends are on those platforms and what they're sharing. As you as a parent, if you're not monitoring what they're doing, you don't know who they're talking to or what they are doing. Another tip is to keep the screens and devices where you can see them. So if they've got a laptop, they're working from home or they're working on their tablets, make sure that when you walk past, they don't hide their tablets or sit in a position that you can't see anything, as it's obvious signs that they're trying to hide something or just not comfortable sharing it with you. And if they're not comfortable sharing it with you, the first tip comes in place because you have put yourself in the position where you are open to talk about what they're doing. We also encourage the use of parental control applications. Whether you're using Apple or Android, there are multiple options available out there, all that are free. And they allow you to monitor the time that they're actually on. So when they're at school, when they're at home, you can see what they're doing and how long they're doing it for. And it allows you to restrict their usage, such as the browser usage, or restrict what games and apps they actually can download. And the last but the most important tip that I would like to or suggestion that I'd like to put out there is know who they are talking to. Whether it be on Facebook or WhatsApp, know who's in their contacts, know who they're talking to, and make them feel comfortable showing you the chats as well. So you are aware of what they are doing at any given stage on their device. Thank you. I'd like to hand over to Mrs. Fulyun now.
Good evening, everyone, and I sincerely apologize for how terrible I sound, but I am not at all well. I don't have much of a voice, so I do hope you can hear me. But if you can't, as always, please feel free to send me a mail, and I will be able to answer your questions there. I have a couple of ideas that what I would like to do, let me just put it this way, is I want to clarify the expectations that we as the intermediate phase have with you as the parents. So Mr. Warren briefly mentioned about security, and please understand that our primary goal is to educate your child in a safe manner. So when we do things that seem like they might not make the most sense or you don't understand, please do contact us and we can explain the reason behind them. Normally, it is due to the fact that there is a security risk involved. So when we've moved over to Google Classrooms now, there are several features that I'm not sure you as parents are aware of that I would like to clarify. After the results from term 1, I think that we've all learned where the shortfalls are and where we need to improve from our side as well as from the learner's side. So I'm just going to show you a couple of those features. Now, the first one is regarding you as the guardian on Google Classroom. Now, you have the opportunity to set a daily, a weekly, or to not receive a report at all, which will be an email that shows you what exactly has happened on Google Classrooms through the week. I'm going to present my screen and I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is a dummy one. Sorry, let me just share my screen here. Okay, so as you can see, this is what it looks like. So you will get an email that says Google Classroom. This is a weekly summary. It shows you exactly what has not been submitted, as well as any announcements that have come through from the teachers. So if you have any questions or any queries about work that has not been done, or you're not sure how we can say work is missing when you're unaware of it, please do check your emails, as it does show there what work has not been completed by your child. And I do encourage you to set this to at least get it weekly. If you want to get it daily, that is, of course, entirely up to you. But a weekly account should be enough for you to keep your finger on the pulse in terms of your child's work. The other thing that I would like to tell you about, or I want to show you, is how Google Classroom looks on your child's device, and to encourage you to log in occasionally. If you feel the need, you are welcome to log into their account and actually physically have a look. And if you've seen how it works, hopefully it will assist you on their days that they are at home. Now, please understand, parents, that it is not optional for the learners to work at home on their days that they are not at school. I have explained it to my grade 6s and my grade 7s that we have 100% of the work to complete within the year, but we're only physically seeing them for 50% of the year. So without your assistance here in making sure that they work from home, they will not complete the syllabus, and that does put them at quite a lot of risk. So with that being said, I'm going to show you, I have set up a dummy account that will, it emulates the tablets that your children are using. So I hope that you can see it now. But if you have a look, so this child, that the dummy account is only in the grade 6 natural sciences class, but it gives you an idea as to what Google Classroom looks like when working on a tablet. It is slightly different from working on a laptop. So if we have a look here, when you open Google Classroom and you go to the classes page, your child will obviously have all of their classes here. It will not just be only the one. In the top left-hand corner, you can navigate your way through the classes, which will be listed here under the Enrolled tab. So obviously here, as I said, there's only grade 6 natural sciences, but the easiest way for the learners to navigate through this is to go to the to-do list. So if you open the to-do list, it literally lists every single piece of work that has been assigned by the teachers for all subjects. It also, if you look at the top here, it shows what is missing in red and what has been completed, which obviously this dummy account has not completed any work. So when you go on your child's tablet, please have a look at the to-do list, which will show you exactly what work needs to be completed. And even have a look at the assigned and the completed work, the done work. What some of the learners are doing is handing in incomplete work to get it out of their missing folder, but it's not actually done. So that is how you navigate through, and that is how you are able to check the work that was completed on the day that your child is at home. Always check at the end of the day what has been done in the course of that day. Guaranteed there should be an English, Afrikaans, and maths activity. There will normally also be an NS activity. So if those core subjects are not there at the end of the day, please assist your child in catching up the work that they've missed for that day. They can also save due dates on the calendar and notifications. So every time a new piece of work is posted, they will get a notification so that they can navigate directly through to that classroom. Okay. So that is what it looks like on the learner's devices. Now, if your child is working on a laptop, it looks slightly different. So I've got it open here. I've logged in using the same dummy account. And as you can see immediately, it does look a little bit different on the computer versus the tablet screen. However, the information is exactly the same. So that you can still navigate through the classes in the top left-hand corner, can still access the calendar, can still access that all-important to-do list. Only here gives you a few more options in terms of how it's set out. But all the information is identical. You can also have a look at your child's profile. So if you go back to the Google Classes, at each class, on the Classroom tab, there is a small icon that looks like a little clipboard. If you click on that, it pulls up all of the work that your child should have done. And as you can see on the Stumming account, no work has been done. So have a look for this kind of information. What is missing? What has been assigned? What has been returned here? So this is easier to navigate through on a laptop, but the information is also there on the tablet. If we have a look, it should be when you open. Okay. So what I'm going to show you next is what happens if you have a question. So if you or your child does not understand something on the work, there are various different ways of contacting the teacher. Firstly is to post it directly onto the stream. Now this, what I've just opened, so if I go back to classrooms, just the classes, okay, and I open, this is the subject that I would like to open, which is the grade 6 natural science. If there is a question that you would like to ask about the work for the day, there are two options here. Actually, three options. The first is to post it directly onto the stream. So you can say, I do not understand today's work. And you can post it, and this is now visible to everyone. So you will notice your children in grade 6 will have got a notification to say that a question has been posted on the stream. I get the same notification as the teacher, so I'm able to identify it immediately and respond to that question. The other option is to open the work that is causing difficulties, which is under the classwork tab. So if I open the work that this child does not understand, I can then add a class comment here, likewise, and it will be visible to everyone. Now, when your child is working, it's very important that they do not open the template. So if I click on this document, as you can see, it says template, experimental write-up separating mixtures. Now, if they do work on this document, it becomes very difficult for them to save because this is actually the master copy. So when they open their work, they need to go to where it says your work at the bottom, click the arrow, and open the attachment. It has their name on it. So as you can see here, it's Alice Wonderland. It's the exact same worksheet. However, now when they edit, it will get saved to her drive and she can then turn it in. Okay. There were some learners at the end of last term who still said that they did not know how to turn in. Now, we have shown the learners on multiple occasions. However, this is for your reference. Once the work has been completed and saved, it saves automatically over here, and the child just needs to click turn in. you get a confirmation here. They can click turn in. And it has now gone. It's still indicated that it has been turned in late, but it has now gone on to the teacher. The little clipboard that I showed you earlier on the laptop is located over here on the tablet. So if you are in the Natural Science and Technology classroom stream, when you go to your work, it is there. There is the work that has been assigned for Natural Science and Technology. Okay. I've stopped sharing my stream now. The other option to contact the teacher is to send an email directly. If your learner is shy, if your child is shy and they don't want to post a comment or a question on the stream or on the class comment, please do not add it as a personal comment. Okay, there is an option for that, but the reality is that is only seen when the teacher comes to mark. So it is preferable to either post it directly on the stream or as a class comment or as an email. Okay, the teachers are much more, they are going to see the email before they see a personal comment. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't actually have any access to questions at the moment. That is what I wanted to show you. I'm not sure, Mr. Warren. Can you tell me if there are any questions that I need to answer?
There have been no questions asked as of yet, but I am watching the live chat. If there are any questions, you feel free to put them through and I'll forward them on to Mrs. Viljoen.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's probably for the best because as you can hear, my voice is failing me even more now. I just wanted to clarify how the system works and to also just reinforce that it is utmost important to work on the days that the children are at home. They will not do it on their own. They need structured environment, so please assist them with that. Show them how to organize their work so that everything gets completed on time. They need to use their homework diaries to write down due dates. Something that I've been emphasizing with my learners, but it is something that needs to be reinforced. So when the teachers are explaining the work for the following day, when they're at school, please encourage your children to write it down in their homework diaries so that when they get home, they are able to easily remember what exactly is expected of them. Please also, if there are any problems, so in other words, if there's a power failure and there's no electricity or there's no internet, please let us know. If we do not know, your children end up in trouble for something that is not actually their fault. But if it does happen that there's a power failure or no data, whatever might happen, they still need to catch up the work, but at least we can give them a more reasonable deadline in which to complete the work. That is all I wanted to go through with you parents. So please, like I said, if you do have any questions or comments, please send me a mail or Mr. Warren will send it through to me so that I can address it. But I think let's wait a few minutes. I'm not sure, Mr. Nina and Mr. Warren, if we should give a few minutes for questions on the YouTube chat.
I'm keeping an eye, and so far no questions have come through as of yet. If there any questions do come through, we can answer it at a later stage in another video.
I think that's all then, parents. This session was recorded and it will be available on request. So I thank you all very much for your attendance and please take heed of what was said. So once again, thanks very much and we'll see you all again. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.